They call it the Pelican State, a name that feels ancient, elemental, whispered on the humid breeze that drifts in from the Gulf. You see its emblem everywhere, woven into the very fabric of Louisiana's identity, a constant, quiet reminder of what this place is all about. You see it on the flag, flying proudly from the wrought iron balconies of the French Quarter and the simple flagpoles of Cajun country. It depicts a mother pelican, wings arched in a protective embrace, feeding her young. But this is no ordinary depiction of maternal care. Look closer. The image tells a story, a medieval legend carried across the ocean by Louisiana's earliest European settlers. The myth tells of a time of famine, when the mother pelican, finding no food for her starving chicks, turned her beak upon her own chest, piercing her flesh to nourish her young with her own blood. It's a symbol, stark and profound. It's about a sacrifice so deep it becomes life itself. It's about providing, not from abundance, but from the very core of one's being. This single, powerful image encapsulates the spirit of a people who have weathered hurricanes, floods, and untold hardships. It speaks to a deep, instinctual connection to place and to family, a bond forged in shared struggle and unwavering resilience. But Louisiana is so much more than a single, albeit powerful symbol on a flag. To truly know this place, you have to let it seep into your pores. It's a feeling that gets under your skin, a physical presence you carry with you long after you've left. It begins with the air itself. It's the humid air that hangs heavy, a warm, wet blanket that embraces you the moment you step outside. It's thick with a symphony of scents, the intoxicating perfume of sweet olive and night-blooming jasmine, the earthy, primal smell of the swamp rising after a downpour, the sharp, metallic tang of yesterday's rain still glistening on cobblestones and cast-iron fences. In the morning, it's the rich, dark aroma of chicory coffee brewing, a scent that promises conversation and contemplation. In the evening, it's the ghost of garlic and cayenne pepper lingering from 1,000 kitchens, a testament to the day's communal feasts. Here, the air is so thick with memory, you can almost taste it. It's a place where the past isn't just remembered, it's alive, a constant companion. It walks right beside you down a cobblestone street, its ghostly breath whispering tales of pirates who found refuge in these labyrinthine swamps, of poets who found their muse in the decay and romance, of fortunes won and lost on the turn of a card, and of revolutions that changed the course of a nation. The echoes of French, Spanish, and American rule still argue in the architecture and the street names. This isn't just another trip on an itinerary. You don't do Louisiana. You experience it. This is an immersion, a full-on baptism in a river of culture, a current that runs deeper, stronger, and far more unpredictably than the Mississippi itself. So we're going on a journey, you and I. Not as tourists, but as temporary locals, as students of a way of life. We're going to peel back the layers of this complicated, beautiful, and at times utterly maddening place. We're going to look beyond the postcard images of Bourbon Street and the endless cascade of plastic beads. Because that Louisiana, the one sold in souvenir shops, is a caricature. It's the flashy costume, not the soul wearing it. We're going to find the real Louisiana, the one that exists in the sacred quiet of the bayous at dawn, the glorious, noisy chaos of a backyard crawfish boil, and in the soulful, solitary notes of a saxophone crying out into the velvet night, telling a story without a single word. It's a land of profound contradictions, a place of intense, unbridled joy and deep, lingering sorrow, often in the same breath. Nowhere is this more clear than in the tradition of the jazz funeral, a ritual that weeps for the dead on the way to the grave and dances for the soul on the way back home. It's a philosophy for life. Acknowledge the pain, then let the music play. To understand Louisiana, you have to do more than just look. You have to listen. You have to listen to the rhythm of the language, a musical gumbo of French, Spanish, African, Caribbean, and Southern English influences. But the gumbo metaphor extends to everything here. The people are a rich stew of cultures: Creole, Cajun, Vietnamese, Irish, German, Italian, each group adding its own flavor. its own history to the pot, creating a society that is uniquely, defiantly American in its own way. You have to listen to the stories told by the old-timers. Tales passed down through generations like precious heirlooms, each one adding a new spice, a new layer of complexity and flavor to the collective narrative. We're going to explore the history that shaped this land, a history of empires, of trade, of slavery and freedom, of innovation and tragedy. We'll see how that history isn't confined to museums, but how it echoes in every plate of food, every chord of music, and every single parade that rolls down these streets. So, forget what you think you know. Forget the easy cliches and the one-dimensional caricatures. Open your mind, open your senses, and get ready. We're diving headfirst into the heart of the American South, but this is a South unlike any other. It's more of a northern Caribbean island that got lost and washed ashore. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe to Mardi Gras Family for more great content. It's a place where the normal rules don't always apply, where time seems to slow down to the rhythm of a lazy drawl, and where every meal is a potential celebration and every stranger might just have the story you need to hear. This is a journey to find the soul of a state that has more soul, more spirit, more flavor, more music, more unadulterated life than just about anywhere else on earth. Welcome to our Louisiana. I promise you, you've never seen it, or tasted it, or heard it quite like this before. Louisiana was born of water. Before there was land, there was the slow, patient work of a river carrying a continent's worth of soil south to the sea. This is a place imagined and then meticulously crafted by water, a liquid Genesis story written in silt and clay over 70 million years. The mighty Mississippi River, a relentless muddy god, begins its journey nearly 2,500 miles to the north. It gathers strength, volume, and, most importantly, sediment from 32 American states and 2 Canadian provinces. By the time it reaches this southern coast, it is not just a river, it is a force of creation, a liquid conveyor belt of earth. For millennia, it has acted as a grand, untamed sculptor, carving this place out of the continent. Unburdened by man-made walls, the river would swell with the spring melt, overflowing its banks and fanning out across the coastal plain. As the water slowed, it relinquished its heavy load. For millennia, it has deposited this offering of silt and sediment layer upon layer, like geological brushstrokes. The river would build land in one area for 1,000 years, then abruptly change course, abandoning its creation to seek a shorter path to the Gulf, beginning the process anew. This delta switching created the vast, intricate network of land we see today, a shifting, fertile delta, one of the most dynamic landscapes on Earth. The result is a landscape defined by its proximity to sea level. The land here is low, flat, and profoundly wet. It's a mosaic of distinct but interconnected environments. There are the bayous, the word itself derived from the Choctaw bayuk, meaning small stream. These are the slow-moving, almost stagnant arteries of the swamp, their waters stained dark with tannin from decaying leaves. Then there are the swamps themselves, forested wetlands dominated by the majestic cypress and tupelo gum. And finally, the marshes, the treeless, grassy plains that form the final, fragile barrier between the solid ground and the open water of the Gulf of Mexico. Bayous, swamps, marshes, coastal plains, each a different verse in the same waterlogged poem. Here the water is not just a feature of the landscape, it is an elemental presence. It is everywhere. It hangs heavy in the air you breathe, a humid blanket that clings to your skin. It saturates the ground under your feet, turning solid earth into a soft, yielding sponge, and over generations it has seeped into the very spirit of the people. It dictates the rhythm of life, a constant companion that is both revered and feared. It gives life, the astonishing fertility of the soil, the unparalleled bounty of its fisheries, and sometimes, with the terrifying indifference of a hurricane surge or a spring flood, it takes it all away. This constant negotiation with water has shaped every facet of life. It shaped where people settled. The first inhabitants, the Native Americans, and later the European settlers, built their communities on the high ground of the natural levees, the slightly elevated ridges of land deposited by the river during ancient floods. Today, that legacy continues in the iconic stilt houses of the coastal communities, homes lifted 12 or 15 feet into the air, a pragmatic and defiant gesture against the inevitable flood. It shaped what they ate, turning the surrounding wetlands into a vast, self-replenishing pantry, and it shaped how they traveled. For centuries, the primary vehicle wasn't on a road, but on the water. The pirogue, often carved from a single cypress log, was the original pickup truck of the bayou. Its shallow draft and elegant design allowed it to glide silently through cypress draped in Spanish moss, a perfect tool for hunting, fishing, and visiting neighbors. It's a symbol of a life lived in harmony with the water, and that water provided a staggering bounty. Succulent shrimp from the estuaries, briny oysters from the coastal reefs, sweet blue crabs from the marshes, and the ubiquitous crawfish, the ruby-red jewel of the swamp. This abundance wasn't just sustenance, it was the raw material for genius. That bounty became the foundation of one of the world's great cuisines. When French, Spanish, African, and Caribbean cultures collided on this fertile ground, they each brought their own culinary traditions. Using the local ingredients, they created something entirely new. The holy trinity of onion, celery, and bell pepper met the dark, nutty roux. The Spanish brought jambalaya, the French their sauces, the Africans okra and stewing techniques. The result was Cajun and Creole cooking. Gumbo, étouffée, bisque, dishes that don't just feed the body, they tell the story of this place in every single bite. To journey deep into this landscape is to feel time itself slow down. It feels ancient, almost prehistoric. In the Atchafalaya Basin, the largest river swamp in the United States, you are stepping into a world that has remained largely unchanged for centuries. It's a cathedral of nature. Towering bald cypress, their trunks flared at the base like melted wax, stand as silent witnesses. Some are over 1,000 years old, living monuments that were already ancient when the first Europeans arrived. Alligators, true living dinosaurs, sun themselves on logs. The air is thick with the drone of cicadas and the calls of exotic birds, the elegant swoop of a great blue heron, the flash of a roseate spoonbill. It is a world away from modern hustle, a place that demands patience and quiet observation. But this land, which feels so timeless, is terrifyingly fragile. The very forces that created it now threaten its existence. In our attempt to tame the Mississippi, to prevent its natural flooding and make it a reliable channel for commerce, we have inadvertently starved the delta. The massive levees that line the riverbanks now act like a chute, forcing all that precious land-building sediment out into the deep waters of the Gulf, where it is lost forever. Compounding the problem, a web of thousands of miles of canals, dredged for oil and gas exploration, has sliced the marsh to ribbons, allowing corrosive salt water to penetrate deep inland, killing the freshwater vegetation that holds the soil together. This land is sinking and washing away. The statistics are staggering: coastal erosion, subsidence, sea level rise, and the increasing intensity of hurricanes have created a perfect storm of destruction. Louisiana's coastline shrinks at an alarming rate. An area the size of a football field is lost to the open waters of the Gulf of Mexico, on average, every 100 minutes. This isn't just a geological event, it's a cultural extinction crisis. The fight to save this landscape is a fight for entire communities, for the fishing villages that have worked these waters for generations, for historic towns, and for the incredibly delicate ecosystems that are a nursery for so much of the Gulf's marine life. There is a desperate, urgent effort underway to turn the tide. Ambitious projects to divert the river's flow, to rebuild barrier islands, and to restore the marshes are a source of hope. But the scale of the challenge is immense. To understand this struggle, the science, the politics, the heartbreak, and the hope, is to understand the fierce, protective, and sometimes sorrowful love that Louisianans have for their vanishing home. It is a love for a place that is more than just land. It is their identity, their history, and their future, all slowly dissolving into the sea. When you hear the word Louisiana, what comes to mind? For many, it's a single, dazzling image. The neon glow of Bourbon Street, a hurricane glass in hand, the air thick with the promise of a night that never has to end. It's the postcard version, the one sold to the world. So what is the real Louisiana? Is it truly just the raucous, non-stop party of the New Orleans French Quarter? Is it the sound of a lone saxophone wailing a bluesy lament, a sound that seems to seep from the very bricks and ironwork of the city? A sound born from the pain and perseverance of a people in places like Congo Square, where the seeds of jazz first took root. Jazz is the heartbeat of Louisiana. From the legendary clubs of Bourbon Street to the historic Preservation Hall and the vibrant Frenchmen Street, the sounds of saxophones and trumpets fill the air. Whether you're in a cozy bar or a bustling street festival, you'll find world-class jazz musicians performing every night. Experience the magic of live jazz in New Orleans, where music and history come alive. Or is it the city's defiant embrace of joy, the pursuit of pleasure elevated to a high art form, a philosophy of laissez le bon temps rouler, let the good times roll? Yes, of course, that's part of it. You can feel it in the air. The kinetic energy, the pulse of the music, the sheer unadulterated joy of a city that has faced down hurricanes and history and chosen again and again to live fully and fiercely in the moment. And then there is the ultimate expression of that spirit, Mardi Gras. But to understand it, you have to look beyond the tourist-packed bacchanal. We will, of course, talk about the spectacle, the colossal glittering parades that roll like land-bound ships through cheering throngs. We'll see the intricate handcrafted masks that conceal and reveal, but we'll also go deeper into the traditions that are the festival's true heart. We'll learn about the crews, the social clubs that spend an entire year and a small fortune preparing for their one day to shine. We'll meet the Mardi Gras Indians, whose breathtaking hand-sewn suits are a stunning display of folk art and a proud statement of Black heritage and resilience. This is a celebration woven into the very fabric of the community, a family affair passed down through generations. But New Orleans, for all its magnetic charm, is only one chapter in a much larger story. Travel west, and the landscape begins to change. The urban energy gives way to something older, wilder. This is Cajun country, Acadiana, a place apart, a nation within a state. Here you'll still hear the echoes of French, but it's a different dialect, a resilient tongue that has survived centuries of isolation. It's a culture forged in hardship and exile, born from the descendants of French Canadians brutally expelled from their homes in the 1700s in what they call Le Grand Dérangement. They found refuge here, in the swamps and prairies, and built a new world on their own terms. It's a region with its own distinct flag, its own music, and its own proud, unyielding way of life. In Acadiana, life moves to a different rhythm. Here, the accordion is king, but it tells two different yet related stories. There's the soulful fiddle and accordion waltz of traditional Cajun music, songs of love and loss sung in French. And then there's the driving, syncopated beat of Zydeco, the music of the French-speaking Creoles, blending Cajun sounds with the blues and R&B. On a Saturday night, you'll find them both at the Fay Dodo, the traditional dance party, where dance floors are packed with couples of all ages, two-stepping with an effortless grace. But more than anything, life here revolves around two sacred pillars, family and food. It's a culture of fierce pride and heritage, expressed most deliciously on the dinner table. We'll experience a boucherie, the communal butchering of a hog where nothing goes to waste. We'll get our hands dirty at a crawfish boil, a boisterous backyard ritual of spice and fellowship. We'll taste the holy trinity of Cajun cooking, onion, celery, and bell pepper, in every pot. And yes, we will eat boudin, that savory sausage of pork and rice, right out of the paper wrapper in a gas station parking lot. We'll crunch on hot, salty cracklings, freshly rendered. This isn't just food, it's communion. Journey north from the coastal plains and Louisiana transforms yet again. The swamps and bayous recede, replaced by rolling hills, vast pine forests, and sprawling cotton fields stretching to the horizon. This is northern Louisiana, a world that feels more connected to the traditions of the Deep South to neighboring Arkansas and Mississippi. Its roots are more Anglo-Protestant than French Catholic, shaping a different cultural landscape. This is the sportsman's paradise you see on the license plates, a haven for hunters and fishermen drawn to its abundant lakes and woodlands. But it's also a land steeped in profound musical history. This is where the raw, soulful sound of the Delta blues echoed from dimly lit juke joints and rustic back porches. It's home to the Louisiana Hayride in Shreveport, the legendary radio show that was a crucial stepping stone for giants like Hank Williams and a young Elvis Presley, helping to birth rock and roll itself. We'll visit cities like Shreveport and Monroe, hubs of commerce and culture. We'll hear the stories of the pioneers who settled this land, the sportsmen who revere it, and the musicians whose sound changed the world. It's a quieter, more contemplative side of the state, but its history and influence are no less fascinating. So the real Louisiana isn't one thing. It's a complex, contradictory, and utterly captivating gumbo of cultures. This journey is about embracing all of it. It's about the sacred and the profane, often living side by side on the same street. It's the quiet, haunting reverence of a historic plantation, a place that forces us to confront a difficult and painful past. And it's the joyful, uninhibited chaos of a backyard crawfish boil, a celebration of the present. It's found in the deep, complex flavors of a gumbo that has been simmering for hours, a dish with as many recipes as there are cooks, each one telling a family's story. And it's in the simple, perfect, briny taste of a freshly shucked oyster, a gift from the Gulf. To understand this place, we have to meet its people, not just the famous chefs and musicians, but the shrimpers and fishermen whose livelihoods depend on the water. The artists turning the state's stories into vibrant murals, the Mardi Gras Indian chief meticulously sewing every bead onto his suit, the farmer walking his fields at dawn, the everyday folks whose resilience, warmth, and generosity define the true spirit of this land. They are the keepers of the flame, the guardians of the culture. So we invite you to pull up a chair. There's always an extra seat at the table here. Get comfortable and open your senses. Our adventure through the heart and soul of Louisiana, in all its beautiful, complicated glory, starts right now.